Have you ever wondered what it is like to be a nurse practitioner student in the US? You want to become a nurse practitioner in the US someday, but you can't really imagine how your life's gonna be. In this episode, I'm gonna share with you how my life was when I was a nurse practitioner student in Hawaii. Hey, before we're gonna get into today's topic, I just wanna mention that we are giving out free online lesson. It's about time management. We all are very busy every day, but we wanna make sure that we have time to take care of ourselves. Because when we are too stressed out, then we can't really take care of other people, patients, or even our loved ones. So it's very important to take care of ourselves, but I think the problem is we don't have time. But in this lesson, I'm going to talk about 7 secrets to make time for things you love so you can rejuvenate and be a better person, better nurse practitioner, better healthcare professional. How to access this online lesson is you can go to usa.jnpproject.com/free lesson. Again, usa.jnpproject.com/free lesson. And you can get access to this free lesson. All right, let's get back to today's topic. So, in this episode, I'm gonna share with you how my life was like when I was a nurse practitioner student in the United States, in Hawaii. So this was about 11 years ago or so, or it could be 12 years ago, but around sometime around there. But first year after I arrived to United States, I was in the RN to BSN program, so I was able to learn some basics of American nursing, learning medical English, and learning just American healthcare system. So that was very helpful. Unfortunately, these days things are changing. If you have bachelor degree in nursing and outside the United States, you might not be able to get into RN to BSN program, and you might have to go straight to a nurse practitioner program, either MSN or DNP program. So this life might be how it's going to be right after you come to United States. But either way, it's good to have how your life's going to be so you can prepare yourself financially and then also emotionally as well. So first of all, when I was a nurse practitioner student, this was when I was a master's program, nurse practitioner student, I came to United States with student visa. It's called F1 visa. And with CPT, which I'm going to explain in a different episode about ways for students on F1 visa to work in the United States. But I was on the student visa, F1 visa, and I was able to work 20 hours per week as a registered nurse at an outpatient facility. That facility was a little bit unique because majority of patients, staff, providers are from Japan. So I speak both languages, Japanese and English. And the thing that I love about the experience is, one is I got to learn outpatient care. I had experience in acute care setting in Japan, but I never worked in outpatient setting, even in Japan. So before I start working there, I thought, well, to be honest, I thought, it should be easy because I did more high-level care because I worked in acute care. But it's actually not true. It's just the different types of care that you provide. So you have a lot of things to learn. And as a nurse practitioner, you are likely to work at an outpatient facility unless you are becoming acute care nurse practitioner. But a lot of nurse practitioners are family nurse practitioner like me, and majority of us work in outpatient setting. So it was really great for me to learn how the care delivery goes for outpatient setting. Also learn about U.S. healthcare system in general, insurance system, how the referrals work. So it was really, really great. Also, the owner allowed me to be very flexible on my schedule. So I was able to balance work and study. Because obviously I wasn't in a nurse practitioner program, so I had to learn a lot, study a lot. So I was working 20 hours per week at the Japanese clinic. And so this is how, my typical day went when I was in that program. So first, I forgot what time I used to wake up, but probably like 6 or so. And then I packed everything for the day. I had a really broken down, super cheap car. I probably paid like $3,000 cash for the used car. It was 1997 Toyota Camry. Of course, I remember because that was my very first car. But, I bought it on the Craigslist. And so I put everything because I know that I'm not going to go home until the very end of the day. So I had to pack everything, like dinner, lunch, everything for school and work and stuff like that. But so I wake up probably around 6 o'clock and I packed everything. And then first I went surfing, usually like 30 minutes. It depends on how early the sun rises at the time. But I went surfing for 30 minutes to 1 hour before work. And luckily, the clinic is very close to where I surf. So I surf, and then in 5 minutes, I'll be at the clinic. My hair will be still wet, but luckily, the owner of the clinic is very understanding that, surfing is my part of my life, and it also is a way for me to relieve stress. So I went surfing for 30 minutes to 1 hour before work, and I get to the clinic. I worked until the early afternoon, like 2 to 3-ish. Then I went straight to the campus and then either study at a library before the class, my classes started, or I met up with my writing tutor to go over some of my assignments. And then in the evening time, because majority of my classes, well, first of all, that was, remember it was like 12 years ago. So that it wasn't really, we didn't have online classes at the time. Well, so that was actually great. I mean, there's good and bad about the online classes. But everything was in person. And all the classes were in the evening or afternoon because they know that a lot of nurses, like students, work during the daytime. So my class started around 5 o'clock, depends on the day. But, so I went to the library or see my tutor before my classes start. And then I had classes sometimes until 10 p.m. The thing that I love, one of the things that I love about the United States is you can eat in the classroom. It sounds ridiculous, for people who grew up in America, like what's the big deal? But in Japan, you're not supposed to eat or even drink or even go to the bathroom. You have to get a permission. So like the fact that I can go to the bathroom anytime during the class, I can eat anytime, I can drink anytime, and then a lot of times we had a little potluck in the back of the classroom, and we just brought some stuff because we had classes throughout the evening, sometimes until 10 p.m. So we, of course, we were hungry, and a nice professor started to give us chips and dips, and then we started to bring our stuff, and then it became a little potluck party every week, and it was super fun. But so we were taking classes for hours, and then eating at the same time because we have to eat dinner, and then so the class, sometimes the class ended around 10 p.m. or a little bit earlier, and then I usually went to the library again until it closed, And then usually a security kicked me out and I stayed until then. And then I go home and then take a shower and then go to sleep and then restart. Some days I had clinical training, so I didn't go to work, and then I just, was at the clinical side getting clinical training under my preceptors, and then sometimes I had to go to school afterwards. And then on the weekends, I worked Saturday morning at the clinic. And then Saturday afternoon, I was free. A lot of times I was working on assignments, but I, try to be efficient and get like a 2-hour window to serve or do whatever. And on a lot of times on the weekends, I also met up with my classmates to do a group study session. Sometimes we are discussing with each other, but a lot of times we're just sitting at the same table or close to each other at a cafe or a library, but we're just doing our own thing. Because, as a graduate student, sometimes we have group work, but a lot of times we're just working on our own papers. So, my classmates helped me to correct grammars if I couldn't see a writing tutor. And then also on the weekend, I also saw writing tutors as well. For international students, or even if you are not international students, I absolutely recommend, and a school actually recommended us to see writing tutors, because one, if you have any grammatical mistake, you lose significant points. So it's too bad that you have such a good idea, but you made some grammatical mistakes, and then you get B or C. Even though your idea is amazing. So make sure, especially if you're an international student or English is not your first language, make sure to see writing tutor regularly. I usually, every semester, as soon as I receive syllabus for all the classes I'm going to attend, I just wrote down the due dates for each assignment. And then a few days prior to assignments, I made sure to make appointment with the writing tutors so that I have time to get some advice from them and also revise before I submit my papers as assignments. So definitely, utilize writing tutor. Also, they are very knowledgeable about APA, which is a particular writing style that we have to follow as a nursing or graduate nursing student. And APA is super tricky. And also, if you make mistake on APA style, a lot of points are taken and your grades will go down. So make sure you have enough time to work with writing tutors. I usually saw writing tutors multiple times for one assignment because I wanted to go over, they gave me advice and I rewrite, and then I wanted to have them read it again, make sure that it makes sense, so it sounds better, and I get another feedback, and then my paper gets improved over time. So definitely use writing tutor. But yeah, on the weekends too, I saw writing tutor or spend time at a library. And my I was so lucky to have amazing classmates that I'm still in touch with many of my classmates, and we're working in different states, different specialties, but they gave me such a moral or emotional support. And I don't think I was able to get through without them, because going through nurse practitioner program, graduate program in the United States, in a language that I'm not native for, and new lifestyle, living in a foreign country, and also you have to balance with work, and everything is so stressful. But if you have somebody who is going through that process with you, whether they are American students or international students, it was so helpful. So I'm so grateful for my classmates to be there and then going through the tough time together with me. But that's how my days went when I was in nurse practitioner program. I would say it was extremely hard. It wasn't easy at all. Every semester I was just like almost out of breath, and I'm just like, can I get through this? Every semester. But just take it one at a time. The program is only like 2 to 3 years. And you will be so glad that you spend a lot of time learning everything you can during the program. Because once you graduate and when you get hired as a nurse practitioner, you are expected to be independent fairly right away. This is America. They don't give you enough time to be independent. They don't give you like years and years until you feel comfortable and become independent provider. You get paid to do the work, so you don't have months and months and months to be independent. So make sure you get as many experience you can. For me, on top of completing mandatory clinical hours, I also did 2 unofficial clinical training with preceptors. I just asked one preceptor who is amazing pediatrician, and I asked him, is there any way that I can do one more clinical unofficially? I just love learning here. And then he said, okay. So it was such a blessing. And another unofficial clinical was with OB/GYN physician that I worked at the Japanese clinic, and he allowed me to do unofficial clinical that I was able to learn extra during the nurse practitioner program. So get as many opportunities as you can so that you feel a little bit more confident once you graduate. I hope this was helpful for you to imagine how your life's gonna be. I know it sounds overwhelming. There are a lot of things you have to do during a short period of time, but it's going to be okay. I did it, so you can. I am sure you can. Just keep pushing yourself and you will get through this. But I hope this is helpful. Let me know in the comment section if this was something that you imagine, or if you are in a nurse practitioner program, if it's different from your experience. Or also, I would love to see any requests for future episodes. All right, I'll see you in the next episode. Aloha.